Good morning, everyone. Before we begin, I must thank President Larry Anderson for opening the doors to this beautiful campus today and for his lifelong dedication to the education of our young people. Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College would not have been possible had it not been for a partnership between the band, the state, and federal governments. We are able to stand here today because good people came to the table and made a difference. I want to thank everyone for coming out today, a Sunday in a Minnesota snowstorm, including my family, those who are able to be here and those who are here in spirit. It's also important for me to thank Representative Rick Nolan for his service. I wish him all the best in his retirement. Today, I officially announce my candidacy for the United States Congress representing Minnesota's Great 8th District. Thank you, everyone. I do this with great hope and confidence that we, together, can build a better future for our children. The 8th congressional seat has been held by some great leaders, among them John Blotnick and James Oberstar. But they served at a different time, a time when our major political parties came together to produce monumental pieces of legislation. That was then, this is now. Today, our Congress is broken. When I was first contemplating running, many good friends with experience in politics, some in Washington, tried to talk me out of this. They pointed to the mean-spiritedness of social media, something that many of us here today can identify with, and the inability in Washington to work across the aisle to effect change. As another woman put it, she persisted, and nevertheless, I persisted, and I will continue to persist. I am committed to be your Congresswoman, and I stand before you confident I can make a difference. But I cannot do this alone. I need your help to build the economy of the future that will support this district and the families who call it home. It's no secret that some in our district are growing older, and we are losing our young people as they leave to build a future from far away places, away from their hometowns. We all must recognize the boundaries of our district have grown beyond Duluth and the Iron Range. That means we have to reach out to every corner of this great and diverse district and address the problems and concerns that we all share. Today, I'd like to speak briefly about some of those issues. But before I do, clearly, with the deadly high school shooting in Florida on Wednesday, gun violence is on all of our minds. As a responsible, licensed gun owner, I believe we must all stand together to ensure basic, common sense solutions. It is time to ban bump stocks, noise suppressors, and high-capacity magazines. We need to make certain assault weapons are in the hands of those who work to protect us, not in the hands of those who seek to harm us. Today, I want to acknowledge the horrendous pain and suffering brought by yet another senseless mass shooting claiming the lives of American children. Other issues facing us today are the creation of good-paying, sustainable jobs, investment in public education, and the need to build and maintain a quality healthcare system for everyone. First, we need to move forward and expand Medicare for all. In the richest nation in the world, it is unacceptable that people should die for want of health care because they simply cannot afford health insurance. We must also work to support and strengthen our rural health care system. And let me tell you, a woman in labor should not have to travel miles to deliver a baby simply because her hometown hospital cannot offer that service. A large part of our district has been enmeshed in a battle pitting miners against environmentalists over the issue of copper-nickel sulfide mining. We must separate the notion that iron mining and copper-nickel mining are the same. They are not.
All right.
The extraction methods are very different. One is very toxic and dangerous to our environment. The other has served our region's economy for more than a century without long-lasting, damaging effects.
Oh my God.
Sulfide mining is too great of a gamble for our future. And I want to say this clearly. Water is our most strategic national reserve.
That's right.
And we all must do what we can. We must come together to protect it. I will say that my native friends and neighbors, they say, water is life. And I can't say it any better. Water is life. Without water, we have no life. Thank you. Again, I want to say that I strongly support iron ore mining and taconite production. I will fight to sustain and grow this industry, which is important to the Iron Range and Duluth economies. I also want to say I support sustainable timber harvesting, and I also support a vibrant tourist industry. There has been far too much emphasis on the problems of our district and not enough on the solutions. We can start by expanding our community colleges, building out our rural broadband services, and attracting new industries, the industries of the future. And I have a question to you today. Why not start building out solar factories? How about a high-tech copper recycling plant? How about a world-class research center to study our boundary waters and the district's watersheds? Why not?
How about water?
And finally, primary to our success, affordable and accessible education. We must swing open the doors to our trades and technical schools. We must swing open the doors to our colleges for all students and provide the training they need to meet the demands of the 21st century. I believe no adult, no young adult should have to be saddled with such a high student debt that they're forced to put their lives on hold. In today's economy, young people are not buying homes. They're not having children. They are frozen in time. We need to do everything in our power to give them a pathway to success and to help them fulfill their potential in life.
Free tuition for all.
These are the issues that will unite us. We need to start talking together because we are all in this together. I will go to Washington with the full intention of representing every square mile of this district. Together, thank you, together we will build a powerful new wave of elected officials that can be the change we all so desperately want and need. A new wave that can bridge the political party divide, once again producing legislation that will be remembered for the good it does, not the harm it brings to many. For years, I've had a front row seat, watching and reporting on the decisions made by our elected officials that impacted the great people of the 8th District. For more than 30 years, you invited me into your homes and allowed me to tell your stories and how these important decisions impacted your lives. As a journalist, I had to keep my thoughts and my feelings to myself. That was then. This is now. Yours are the stories of this great district. I can tell you right here today, your interest will never take a backseat to some political calculation. The interest of the people will always come first. Because this is who I am. I am Michelle Lee, a proud graduate of North Branch High School and a graduate of Brown Institute of Broadcasting. I have been a nurse's aide, I've been a factory worker, actually it was a Christmas wreath factory, but I was a factory worker, and I came the ranks as a poorly paid cub reporter. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and maybe, just maybe someday, a grandma. I am a woman who will pack my experiences and your experiences in my bag when I go to Washington. And with your support, we will move forward together, focused on the future. Thank you. Thank you for coming out today. Thank you to the media for making that journey down from Duluth with the snow on the roads. And when I opened up the internet this morning and I saw the snow warning for our area, I thought, oh boy. And actually I had a call from one of the media saying, you're canceling, right? And I said, no, a lot of people have committed. They're on this with me. We are on a journey to make things right for all of the people of the district. And we are launching today because we have so little time to get done what needs to be done. So if anybody would care to ask a question or
Questions or comments from the
Yeah, matter of fact, I have.
let me just grab a glass of
Let me just get some water.
Thank you.
yeah,
If you can stand and come down and give your name. And,
Sure, yeah, I'll walk right down here.
and if you all want to take a seat, that's been a long time standing. Thank you very much for staying with me. I appreciate it.
Perhaps while the handouts are being
Sure.
given out, can you explain to me why you didn't declare earlier when Representative Nolan was still planning to continue beyond next January?
Well, let me explain this right off the bat. Last year, there was a big push to get Congressman Nolan to run for Minnesota governor. And they were pushing him, and at that point, I told my family, if he chooses to run for Minnesota governor, then I will step up and I will run for Congress. And I talked with a lot of people, and a lot of people told me, well, they're in it to help me win it if I choose to do so. Then he made the decision to stay in office. So at that point, I decided, okay, I have a couple of years here to get really involved in local politics and with the Democratic DFL party and define and work on the issues that are important to everyone in the 8th district. Well, as you all know, he made that announcement on Friday. And my son called me up and he said, Mom, if this isn't a sign that you need to get in this race, there never will be a sign. So I brought back all my friends and supporters and said, can we do this? And they said, absolutely, we can do this and we will. And from that we rapidly formed a kitchen cabinet, and now we're pulling together our committee, and we'll be hiring on a staff, because I'll tell you what, time here is of the essence. And so, yeah, so I hope I answered your question.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Are we all good?
Michelle, let's talk about Social Security for a second.
Well,
With northeastern Minnesota getting older and older,
yes.
you know, it's a tremendous program, but we've got to fund it. And we just can't kick the can down the road anymore. Could you give us your ideas about?
Okay, the question was Social Security. And I want to tell everybody that I just turned 65 and I just started receiving Social Security after many, many years of paying into the fund. I think that this is a safety net, and for many, Social Security is necessary. I know that depending on who you will talk to, they'll say the pot is running out, or we have more than enough to take care of the needs of our senior citizens. Right now, we are spending money on so many big issues. We have to start looking, do we really want to feed the war machine? We have been in a war in Afghanistan for 17 years. Can you imagine the money? And it boggles my mind how much money we have spent on foreign soil when I truly believe if we brought people together, we could resolve this through discussion and negotiation. There is no need that day after day we are creating new veterans who come home and they need help. And we have to start taking care of people, our people.
Their people. You know, all those Afghans that get killed for no reason?
I agree. How many hundreds of thousands of people in foreign soil, innocent people, have died as a result of our inability to come to the table?
Not to mention Iraq.
Yes. So yes, the problems loom large, but I think with good people coming to the table, we can figure this out. We can ensure that Social Security is solvent for those who have worked their whole lives and put into that fund.
Yeah, it's not, it's arithmetic. It's not insolvent.
How would you solve, I've got a question. How would you solve the healthcare dilemma we face with so many unable to afford insurance not being willing to cover all those, you know, that whole related set of issues?
Again, in my statement today, I mentioned that in this country, we are so wealthy, and no one should be barred from health care simply because they don't have the money. There are ways to come to the table and resolve this. I strongly support Medicare for all, single payer. I just got on Medicare. Medicare is cool. I pay a supplement, and it's not depleting my bank account tremendously. I don't have a lot of money, believe me, but I have enough money to have Medicare and a supplement. I think it's great. Why can't we expand that system to all Americans? We've got the infrastructure in place. We just have to figure out how to launch it, and I think we can do it. We're pretty smart people here on the ground.
Okay, does anybody else have anything for Michelle?
I've got one more.
Please,
If you
go ahead.
like. What is your view regarding immigration and people who are coming from other countries to find safety and to help work here?
Well, let me say that many of us here in the room are products of immigration. There are those who were here before us. My great-grandma, Ginny Reed, came over from Sweden. She had one little wicker basket, I still have it in my house, that she had her personal effects in. They settled down by Harris, Minnesota. They started a farm that had ended up supporting 3 generations. We need to have our arms open. Of course, we have to make sure that people are not coming in that are going to do us harm. But I think that we cannot close our borders to good people that will help build our economies. Because I'll tell you what, if that wall was up when my Grandma Ginny came, great-grandma Ginny, I wouldn't be here. And I bet you there's a lot of people here today that wouldn't be here in America and having the benefits that we all so much enjoy had it not been for our ancestors coming here. Why should we have had that gift and opportunity and others be denied that? And as far as the dreamers, these kids that know nothing other than America, why are we holding that issue up? Why are we holding that hostage? These kids are American through and through. We need to not only give them a pathway to citizenship, in my heart, they are American citizens.
It shouldn't be called. We're holding them hostage.
As someone in the audience said, we are holding them hostage, and we're using them as a pawn. And this is what, when we bring people in this room, like in this room together, we can discuss these things and we can come up with common solutions that will make America a place that we do have a strong future, a future for potential grandchildren, and futures for babies. This beautiful baby here in the front row, my gosh, what future do we want to provide this little boy? Well, I want a clean environment. I want opportunities to succeed. I want them to be educated. And I don't want them to be saddled with student debt.
Okay, are we set, people? Are everybody got their questions answered? Well, thank you so
But
much.
I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out in this storm and the slick roads. And please, when you go back to your homes, drive safely. Don't turn the cell phones on until you get home, because I need every supporter that I can. And as we build out this campaign, we will be reaching out. We're starting to put lists together. And I'll tell you what, I can't do it alone, but you know what? We can do this.
So, and I am Charlotte Gardner, real quickly. I am the campaign chair, not the campaign manager. We're going to hire a campaign manager. But I do, in the interim, I want to let you know, go to Michelle's website. If you're interested in working on her campaign, please come and talk to me. I will share my email with you and my phone number. And again, on behalf of Michelle and her campaign that is just getting off the ground, thank you so much. And we also look forward to seeing and visiting the rest of the district tomorrow, weather permitting, as much of it as we can. So this week we'll be going to the range. We'll be going to the whole range and to the south, into the western corner of the district and the southern corners of the district. We're going to make a whole circle. Michelle's going to be talking to people. So this is just the first leg of the launch, and it's so exciting that it's here. So thank you all so much for coming.